What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Rhyme Freak Show! For those who noticed, I had 2 videos go up and come right back down. We're having some issues, but it's going to be alright. We're going to get it all worked out. We'll be good to go. Path of Exile has also announced that they will be doing another flashback race event at the end of this challenge league like they did last time. So I figured it was time I got my ass in gear and got out some build guides for, anyone who may be looking for a new build to try or anything new to incorporate into their build and try or to experiment on. And I figured where better to start than probably, well, I don't know, Infernal Blow is pretty close to it, but this guy, he's pretty darn fun. He really is. So we'll start with the Cyclone Volatile Dead Inquisitor. As I said, we've been having issues, but don't worry, we're gonna get it worked out and everything. But I've been working on multiple projects. My time has kind of been spread out all over the place. It's summertime, I'm with my kids, so I did not get these guys as high level as I would have liked to. We're only up to level 85 on this guy, almost 86, but don't worry, I'm gonna put up some path of building towards the end of the video, because I know that's all you guys really want. And I'll put a link in the description, because that's which you want the MTX list and the link in the description. That's all you guys really want, but it's all good. So, the thing I really loved the most about this character, besides how fun it was how universally easy he kind of was to put together, even though he's been the most challenging out of the 3 characters I'm going to do. So I got my resistances up, but I have no unique items that are special to the build in any way that make it work in any way that the build relies on or anything. All just rare. And of course the Belly of the Beast, but that's just my own personal choice because of the life and the resistance, and who doesn't love extra gore? I mean, come on. So again, that's just personal preference. You put on whatever you want, and that's kind of like the thing I like the most about it. So you're just looking for resistances. You want to get as much life as you can. I have a little bit of low life, but there is a plan in place for that as we level up and move on. But other than that, just physical damage, accuracy where you can get it. Elemental damage with attack skills will give you DPS on your Cyclone and everything. Spell damage will add DPS to Volatile Dead. I wish I had more spell damage. Most of this gear is just, again, what I could find as I was leveling up and starting the map, so it's just whatever for now. I kind of wish I had more time to customize it and make it more unique for me, but okay, moving right along onto our just rare axe with a lot of physical damage, a little bit, just whatever I could find and then craft onto it. Leap Slam, Fortify, faster attacks, of course. And then, the best thing about this is you don't have to do it this way. You do it your own way. This is just the setup that I like, the play style that I like, that I'm comfortable with. So, cast on damage, Immortal Call, Molten Shell this time, just because he's a character based around fire, so why not? Increased duration, all on an armor and evasion helmet with life and resistances. Dexterity and intelligence is what I have been needing the most, so we got dex, intelligence, life, the resistance I needed, I guess, to pull the build together. More increased physical. I want to get some spell damage on there. I put some crit chance on there because I did take a Lyra from my bandit and wanted to do a crit build. I had a bunch of crit nodes on the tree. It was not doing nearly as much as I wanted to, or wanted it to, so I really wish I would have just killed all 3 bandits, took the 2 points, not done crit at all, focused on physical and spell damage. And then we have Vaal Fireball. That's the one I'm focused on. Added fire damage, and then it was fork support. Yeah, projectiles fork when they, yeah, whatever. But then, you go into a boss room, you don't have any charges, and you need to build them up, so I swapped it out so that I could just map. It's up to you, whichever's funner. Herald of Ash, Ancestral War Chief, faster attacks, melee physical, increased duration. I always set him up like that. I just love him. He's a good distraction. He makes a good tank for you at bosses and grants damage. So you saw that. Life, resistances, movement speed, physical damage, some life and resistance, the one I needed at the time. Same thing over here. Then our Belly of the Beast hasn't even been linked up yet. So right now, Cyclone, there he is. The Cyclone is only 4 linked with melee physical damage, cast on melee kill, Volatile dead. And surprisingly, that's like all it really needs to get through the maps. So I'm thinking at one point that's going to get moved into the gloves where Molten Strike is with Multi-Strike, melee physical, and added fire damage. And we'll put this into a 6-link setup. We will get our second threshold in on our tree. You'll see in a moment. And then we will pretty much melt just anything in the game. And with this 4-linked, it does just fine. So if you can find like a Shaper or an Elder item that grants 1 or 2 other mods to it and make it 5 or 6 linked like that. So then at the same time, though, we're going to have to find somewhere to move this because right now I have Blasphemy support supporting Poacher's Mark, which is also why we need intelligence. But more than that, Fireball requires like almost 150 intelligence, and you need that if you want to use Vaal Fireball. Pain in the, you know. I almost forgot all about the flasks, as always, because again, they're like a personal preference. So 2 life flasks. I have a bleeding, poison, and chill removal, which even though you'll see later on from our ascendancy, we're like immune to elements when we're on consecrated ground. However the hell you pronounce that word, don't laugh at me. Even my girlfriend was laughing at me for that word. But you know, you're not always on that ground, so you kind of want to have it on there. Sulfur for see, there's that word. Increased damage, whatever. Basalt Flask for increased physical damage reduction, and a Lion's Roar for 24% increased more melee physical damage. And I got to admit, the knockback effect on this character with it is just, it's hilariously fun. Moving right along to the skill tree. As you can see from the Ascendancy, only 85 have not been through Uber Lab. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to do a crit build at first. It just didn't work out, so I had these at first. I also had all 5 of these crit nodes here. And again, as we saw on my axe, if I could get the right screen, we had increased crit chance, so I was really working at it, but it just was not working out. So I refunded it, and now we're using this one. And the theory behind that was it wasn't going to work so well with Cyclone because you're always moving with Cyclone, but it would help out tremendously, especially with the attack and cast speed right there and immune to elemental elements. It would help out tremendously at bosses was my idea, but it actually works out really well with Cyclone too. It's actually really funny. So, and then Instruments of Virtue. The way this works out is basically 30% increased Volatile dead damage if you've cast Volatile dead recently, 50% increased attack damage, so 50% increased Cyclone damage, sorry, if you've cast Volatile dead recently, 20% increased attack speed if you've cycloned recently, and 30% increased cast speed if you've cycloned recently. Wow, okay. So it's crazy. This is some of the stuff I'm not so familiar with, like the setup with everything with War Chief and Frenzy charges and all that I'm very familiar with, but there's a lot of stuff here still kind of new too. But, and again, I'll put this in Path of Building, so we're just going to move right along. Life and mana, like accuracy, life. Area of effect, elemental damage, a little bit of resistances, elemental damage with attack skills, life. Crit nodes right there if you want them. All this is physical damage, accuracy, and attack speed. Down to more accuracy and more life, dexterity, intelligence. Moving over here, we got life. All physical damage with axes and attack speed and chance to gain onslaught on kill. We come down this way because there's even more life right here that you could get to. More intelligence to help you get up to that 150 needed for Vaal Fireball, but that's only at level 19. It might go up. It's going to go up when I go to level 20, right? So more physical damage and attack speed, a little bit of a life leech with axes, more life. And then right here, these two right here, 12% plus 3 to elemental resistance, and then this. 36% total increased evasion and armor. That's all, and 15% total to all resistances. That's all the defense this character has besides what we're wearing. There's where it kind of gets a little complicated, but frenzy charges, physical damage, and accuracy, attack speed, more accuracy, life. Eventually we're going to get the jewel node in, but whatever. Our first wildfire crimson jewel goes there. The second one's going to go at the bottom. Berserking for a lot of attack speed, and then all the life, which is where this point was going next level, which would be 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. And I think that right there is going to solve a lot of our problems because, well, it'll be a lot easier to start mapping at that point. You'll level up faster. 91, 92. 93, 94, 90, and yada yada yada. I'll show you in Path of Building. Okay, so like we were saying, marked it up to level 90. Put in the life node down here. At that point, 5,500 life is actually a lot more than I thought it would be. Surprise. Put in all these all the way up to mind over matter, which made me come down and look at the mana. Unreserved mana, 104. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, and it didn't sound correct. Oh, whoops, I got Herald of Ice in there, and I didn't even notice it earlier when I was going over the gear with you guys in the Ancestral War Chief setup, where faster attacks will be. I temporarily have Herald of Ice just as a DPS boost for now until we got to Mind Over Matter. Blah, 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 blah. We can take that off now. 278 unreserved mana. And then we can put faster attacks back in there. Yada yada. And if that still, isn't enough for you, you're definitely going to, maybe, since I haven't tried it yet, maybe start off with a mana flask. If you don't need it, you can remove it, whatever. If you still need more, you get all these nodes back here to increase your maximum mana. You can work those in. For me personally, though, level 90. Now that we got all this in, I was looking at these. I wasn't going to get them because they don't give as much life as you can get somewhere else. However, it gives 20, 30, 40% increased mana regeneration rate. And our mana regen right now is already so crazy, you can pretty much leap slam across the entire desert map without stopping or killing anything, just fine. So, I mean, if you're taking too much damage and running out of mana, there's those three right there to help it out. Let's move the hell along. 92. We're putting in the Rolling Flames. It'll be 15% increased fire damage because I'll get a perfect one. And then with at least in radius, fireball projectiles gain radius as they travel further, up to +4 radius. And if I remember the wiki page correctly, that also applies to the AoE of their explosion when they hit things. 94, we come down here. I was going to come down here, and we put in a second Wildfire Crimson Jewel. That'll give you 2 more additional projectiles. You'll have a total of 50% increased area of effect with that skill. If you can get it 6 linked like I was talking about, you will pretty much melt just about anything in the game. And at this point, I mean, you're only 94. Put that in, you're almost at 6,000 life with Mind Over Matter. And then, again, if you need more mana, oh, there you go. I mean, still probably not a lot. Unreserved, 472. Wow. So there you go. I mean, 6,000 life with that much and Mind Over Matter. I haven't used it a whole lot personally, but I would think that should make you okay for pretty much anything, I would hope. Alright guys, I know I didn't show as much gameplay in here, and it was just a lot of standing around in the hideout and looking at Path of Building, but we made it, we're at the end. If you made it this long, I really appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see even more just gameplay of this character, check out my Temple of Atzoatl, whatever. And I run through the entire temple with just this character, and you can see the character's fluidity, and take a couple of hits, we're still fine. The important thing is we made it through all 13 rooms of the temple and the boss with only one portal, so that pretty much says everything you need to know right there, I guess. As a little side note, choosing to go all offense instead of going up to mind over matter at an earlier level, it was only a personal decision. You do not have to do that. You can take defense first, and maybe you won't run into the same problems I did. There is a ton of room to customize on this character, and I can't wait to see what maybe some of you will come up with in this league's flashback event. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will catch you again next time.